are a couple of obvious reasons to visit a typical brew pub: the beer, the food. But when you come here to Barley Creek, from the moment you walk through the door, you will notice something extra, something unique, something you will not find in a mug or on a plate.
It's an adventure. It's an atmosphere. It's a feeling. It's when you go into a town that you've never been into, and you just found the coolest local place. You just found Barley Creek.
After spending 9 years and 364 days, not that he was counting, as a banker, Trip Ravain chucked it all, and at 36 bought an old abandoned ski shop just down the road from Camelback Mountain. He turned it into the Barley Creek Brewing Company, and he hasn't looked back.
A lot of times people will call up and say, "Do you take reservations?" And we'll say, "You don't need them because we don't take them. How big's your party and when are you coming?" And they'll say, "Well, we'll be there in 15 minutes." And I say, "Well, come on down." "Well, how long's the wait?" And I'll say, "Well, if you have a beer in your hand, you're not really waiting, are you?"
No one other than the dedicated staff seems to be in a particular hurry here, perhaps because there are simply too many reasons to hang around. In addition to the family atmosphere and the comfort of the post and beam timber frame building, the night we were there, Barley Creek had 9 different styles of beer on tap, from pale ales to barley wine, and some of the finest food in the area. There's even a sushi bar. But now that Barley Creek is established as one of the places to visit in the Pocono Mountains, Trip is focusing on the big picture, beyond the walls of Barley Creek. Trip grew up in the Pocono Mountains, and he wants to do whatever he can to make sure the place he calls home, the place he loves, continues to thrive.
I think the business community in the Pocono Mountains is very strong, and I think every time we can work together as a team to promote the Poconos as a destination retreat, it just makes the guest experience that much more memorable. If they can have a great time up at Pocono Manor, or a nice dinner over at DeSaki's, and then find Barley Creek, all of a sudden they're going to come back to the Poconos for their next visit.
Returning to Barley Creek is not an issue, as Trip serves a steady stream of customers. Food, atmosphere, and beer receive equal priority here, a photo finish in importance, as Trip likes to say, though he's gained quite a reputation for the beer.
Restaurants look at a 15-mile radius for their customer base. I have guests coming 2 hours for a quality beer. I've got guests who are in the Poconos on vacation from England looking for an English ale, and I've got it. So, I've got Germans coming for a German lager. I've got it, and we're brewing it.
But Trip knows full well that even the finest quality beer has not by itself made Barley Creek the attraction it has become.
And what I get a kick out of is I get a rehearsal dinner from a gal that was 10 years old when she first walked in. Then all of a sudden I get the 40 or 50th birthday party from the same family. And who knows, there's lots of interesting catering opportunities when you actually know your guests.
And many of his guests have gotten to know each other here. Maybe this was the place for a first date or a family reunion. Maybe it was a spot to relax after a full day of skiing on Camelback. But there is definitely something different about Barley Creek. You might not be able to see it or taste it, but you'll feel it and remember it. Barley Creek Brewing Company, another great reason to take a trip down the mountain road that Trip and so many others love.